Hello world, WayofTime here, bringing to you another episode of Dragon's Durance. So if we go over here, we can see that our frame quarry, not our frame quarry, our tunnel bore machine has given us quite a few gems, so to speak. So we got 23 diamonds, we got, over 12 stacks of redstone. That's going to be handy in the, time ahead. So let's get 2 stacks of that. We'll put the remaining bit in here. And as you can see, it has completely stopped. Must have run out of energy before. And I did look on the map, and it seems like it has moved 2,000 blocks in that direction, which is quite a good amount. Now, obviously, we're going to want it to run a bit longer, and it has hit a bunch of, what is it? Not a stronghold, but basically the ones that mine shafts. Yes, it has hit mine shafts and got all this junk as well as the strings. So that's why I had to add it into the system. Otherwise, it wouldn't work. So what we're going to want to do today is start what is it called? A recharging station. So a completely automatic, transferable battery charging station. Now, obviously, we're going to have to do a bit of work with that, seeing as I haven't actually made one of these ever. So let's just say it will be interesting. Now, I think I'm going to want to put it in... We need to put it in an already chunk loaded area so that we don't have to waste another chunk loading block. And I think it'd be a good idea to put it in this general vicinity. Let's press F9 and look at the boundaries for our chunks. We could put it here, or in fact, we could put it over here. It doesn't really matter where we put it, as long as we put it within this 9 by 9, not 9 by 9, 9 chunk boundary. So maybe if we expand this a bit, we'll be able to work within a better restraint. So let me make some more of these blocks, and then we can continue and actually formulate a possible way to get this system going. So this should be all the space that we need. So let's see what type of chests that we currently have on our persons. Obviously there is no chest, so we'll try to see what the system we want. So we're going to need an ender chest, and the ender chest is going to basically have a bunch of batteries in it, charged and uncharged, so to speak. So we want to have this ender chest always have a charged battery in it, at least. So ender chest here, we're going to need some battery boxes. Let's put it as if there's a battery box right here, and we'll expand it later. So we're going to need to make another battery box, and thus go into our Nikolite supply that we should have over here. No, it isn't over here for some reason. Nikolite, oh, we already have like 12 stacks of it, so we don't need to worry about that too much now. Now, another thing we're going to need to worry about is actually get the ender chest, because I do not believe I have enough blaze rods. No, I do not. Sigh. So there's going to be a few things that we need to create for this to work. We need the ender chest, and we need a way to have a battery box charge up. Now, the battery box charging up is not what I'm going to worry too much about, seeing as, well, battery blocks charge up very easily. So the charging is probably only going to require a few solar panels to work effectively. We can probably expand the system a lot easier later onwards, but for now, let's see. We're going to need to get a few testing batteries, so that's going to require a bunch of that. We'll have to find our copper, or rather go a little inefficient right now and smelt our copper and our tin so that we have some right away. And to do that, oh, we got our copper, so let's get our tin, and then we can make a few battery boxes. I'll make a few battery boxes and a few batteries, and then we'll see what we need to get everything pulled and etc. So I'm currently taking the liberty to make the machines that I believe will need the most. Now, a few of them are quite simple, so let's check the retriever and see that it requires ender pearls and a filter. Do I have another filter? I have a filter plan, so we should have a plan. We have the technology. Ooh, we got 2 filters, yay. And we're going to need the other filter soon, so let's keep it in our inventory. But a retriever will be something which will pull, I believe it should pull out the used batteries once we set the appropriate frequencies, so to speak, to do so. So we will need, this will be another thing that will require some electricity though, so we have to keep that in mind when we actually use it. So brass, and I already got a regulator. We'll probably change that into something else soon, but let's see, what else do we need? We need to get the pigskin. Not pigskin, but you know what I'm talking about, right? Right? I don't actually have it. Where is my leather? Leather, hello, where are you, leather? Wherefore art thou? I need to eat. I guess I'm gonna have to find a cow somewhere, seeing as the gods are not shining upon me right now. So let's get a cow, get the pigskin ready, and then hopefully get our syntaxes correct. That's interesting. There is absolutely no aura in this area whatsoever. Well, there's one aura. Flaming black, flaming blah, 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 blah. Flaming bat. I hate flaming bats. They are annoying. Another thing that's annoying is a ghast, which I cannot see. I'm aghast at myself. So, someone must have ran through this area with a wand that needed recharging. See, this is an area that has some V's, though Shadow Dragon probably has been doing a little work, so to speak, on the area to get it so dastardly high. And I still have no clue what that lever does, but I'm not going to harp on about it. So, leather, here. Did I say lever or leather? I have no clue anymore. Let's see, we'll take you. And we got our one piece of leather should do, though we should probably keep another one, just in case. And that wasn't lever. Lever. I cannot even speak anymore. Look what you've done, Shadow. You have shamed me upon oblivion. And I still haven't got a single bit of leather. Okay, now that we got that, I'm gonna have to feed the cows so that they don't escape. And then I'll be right back in my base. Building! Okay, now that we got our 2 bits of leather and we have a bit more levers. No, we don't have any levers. Disappointment. Now that we have some food in our bellies, we can actually do a bit more work on our auto-charging station. Hopefully this works out a bit better than I thought. Now, I haven't actually referenced Condrick's design, so I'm going purely on my own imagination. I'm purely going on my own imagination for this design, and that's the reason is I want to see if I can get my own creative juices flowing. That sounds painful. So, battery box. So we'll have this as the charging thing, and we're going to need to have other things as the other things. Other things as the other things. That is very profound. You know? I don't know how I'd come up with this stuff. Okay, getting a little crazy here. So, what's the other things that we need? We are going to need to actually make our retriever system. So we got a retriever, we got some tubes, which are going to want to go there. Now, to make this easy enough, I think it'd be a good idea to actually make some blue alloy wires. So we'll need to get some of this into the woolly department. Let's get a little woolly here. Woolly. Mo. Okay, Now that we figured this out, let's bring this retriever and put it down. So we want this retriever to only, well, retrieve from this thing. I am very articulate today. We only want it to retrieve from the battery box once full battery is detected. Yeah, so we only want it to retrieve full batteries. How are we going to have this so that our tubes are minimalistic in nature? Okay, it doesn't even attach there, so that's good. So let's see. Let's have this at the side and have it so it's like that, so it can easily retrieve once the full battery is detected. We're going to need a full battery to be able to do so, though. So we'll have this battery slowly charge its way, and we're also going to need to place our alloy here. So this will have to charge up as well for everything. So this needs to retrieve, and retrieve it shall. So we also need a place for a redstone signal to go to. That's probably going to need to be a little more resourceful, but let's see. Let's move our supposed thing over here instead. So our supposed chest will move over there. In fact, let's actually make our supposed chest, since we might as well, with all of the resources that we currently have at our disposal, we got a chest. Wow, that was fortuitous. Yes, fortuitous it was. Move and place. So this is going to want to contain all the batteries that we will have. And let's see, this is finally charged and etc. So this needs to not retrieve from there, but let's turn this around. Do we even have a screwdriver with us in our inventory? Screw this. We don't have a screwdriver, so we're going to need to gather the screwdriver. It must be in some area, and I notice that our flux is now at minimal, so if we take a peek at our ore node, which should be around the corner, it should show that there's not as much purple lightning. Now that might be because the lightning must have been the decharging, actually. So looking over, it seems a bit bigger, if anything, but there's not as much flux lightning. Flightning. It's called flightning. I call it flightning. You are very flightning right now. Okay, so let's, now that we got that detour out of the way, we're going to need to also detect whether there is enough batteries in the chest that we're going to have. So how will we detect whether there is enough batteries? The only way I can think of doing that, excuse that, is to get a system that will be able to detect it. Wow, how profound of you. So what I'm thinking is that we'll want a manager to manage everything. So we need the sorting machine, we need the regulator, and I believe this is all we really need. I got that incorrect. So manager, please manage. It is wood at the bottom. Wow, that is quite interesting, actually. So we got a manager that will be able to manage everything that will be in the manage area, so we can manage. Oh my gosh, so much managing that needs to be done. We were going to make something, weren't we? Yes, we were. Let me just get the screwdriver, a new one, yay, and then we'll go back to building. Banzai! Now that I think of it, it's probably how I actually lost all of my charge. So, our manager is right over here, and we will want some blue alloy to go to it as well. And this is fully charged, so now that we have our full Bluetooth, our Bluetooth battery, really? No, it's not a Bluetooth battery. Now that we have that there, and we can wrench this into place, here we go. So that is good. We'll probably want to move the manager at some other time. So what this manager is going to do is we want it to have exactly one empty battery in it at all times. That's okay. And it should emit a redstone signal when that does not occur. There we go. Or rather, okay, emits a redstone signal when it is satisfied. And or does it, actually? We need to get some redstone to determine that. Thankfully, we have a factory of redstone, so we can just pull it out like here and do it like that. Now that I think of it, seeing as how effective this is, I should probably make a tunnel bore in my EE power area. That might be helpful. So, let's see. There we go. So, excess probably does a pulse. Not satisfied does nothing whatsoever. So when it's satisfied, it keeps a redstone signal on, therefore it will be good. Now, this is not going to tell us everything because we also need some other things that will be in the system. We'll also want to have a full Bluetooth BT battery. Sorry if I'm offending anyone by saying Bluetooth. So the system should work like this. Whenever there is an excess of the empty batteries, we should send it down the line and go collect, so to speak. Let's see. We're going to need to get our covers out. So, think coherently, Way. It will probably help you. So what this should happen is, let me actually think for once. So we want to have at least one full battery in at all times. That will be satisfied by this. So when it's satisfied, it gives a redstone signal, and thus nothing else can go into it. That is what we want. Now, another thing, though, is how will we keep it so that, well, this will accept all full batteries. So full batteries will go there, and now that I think of it, we should probably move this so that it's a bit more user-friendly in the future. If we have it like this, it needs to take full batteries from the system. This will expel the empty batteries. Yes, this will expel the empty batteries. It won't go through this, but should go into this. Now, there needs to be some sort of overflow protection. Probably have some sort of chest or transposer that will basically buffer the item, so to speak, so that the items don't get forced out preemptively. So let's test that by maybe moving this so that the tube goes over instead. So like that. Gonna need the cover there, thanks. And no problem, sir. What? Yeah, that is not exactly what we want. There we go. This might work. So this will only accept the full blue batteries. Now a timer might be needed for this. So we need to create a timer. Since this is on all the time, we need some sort of place for this to tick. But let's try ticking it manually if we have any sort of levers. At least we have some wood with us, so we can always create our too many levers. And we got some cobblestone. So let's make another lever. There we go. And go like that. So, let's test this system as it stands right now. So, if we put an extra battery in here, it'll get taken out. Won't go in there, but instead it'll go in here and charge up. So it'll slowly take its stuff out, and then once it's full, it'll go and be retrieved, and that is telling us that there needs to be some sort of restriction right here so that it actually gets retrieved and put into here instead of over there. This doesn't accept any extra batteries, that's why. So let's make another full one and test it and show that this needs at least another battery, and as you see, it's not satisfied. It should start ticking randomly. assuming that there's actually more batteries in the system than just that, it should work out. So, putting the extra battery in, wait, just tick that. It should get into the retriever and then go out that way. And now it's satisfied. So, that is good. Now that this system is working in its infancy, we can probably make some more batteries to have this testing to see if it works at all later on. Maybe if we shove more batteries into this, we'll see what happens. So I'll shove one extra battery into that. That'll just take it out and fill this. But what happens if we put another battery into the system? I'm thinking it should overflow, but how it overflows, I'm not too sure. Will the item just get jammed up in the manager? If so, we need a way to deal with that, and it should be easy enough to deal with. Okay, so batteries here. We'll make the battery here again. In fact, let's make many batteries. Batteries upon batteries. 13 batteries is probably a little too much. I need to pick my brain over that later on. Okay, so now that we have our batteries, let's see what happens. Throw this in. This is full, as you can see. And this is not. So let's throw in one battery and see it gets jammed, which is not what we want. We don't want this to be eternally jammed because, well, obviously once that's taken out, but if it's jammed, nothing can go in. So a method that I'm thinking would be a good idea. Now stop me if this actually is Condrick's method, because if it is, let's just say great minds think alike in this regards. So we need a way to have that. So a buffer won't exactly work because we need something to pull out of. And a relay is probably too expensive. So now that I think of it, probably the best method to do so would be to get a transposer, use a transposer and jump at every time I say transposer, and then use that to get everything going, so to speak. Transposer, where art thou, transposer? Here we go, and we got our wood, got a transposer. We'll place this down and get that rearranged so that it will actually work. Let's see. Put like this, items won't go out, but maybe that's not the solution. Let's see. Let's take that out of the way so that gets there. Put the other battery in. You see, that doesn't actually work unless we have this ticking at its own delight. So that's good. But now that one is full, that went in, that can't go in, and now it's like there, that is eaten up, so to speak. So if we take this battery out, there should be a new location for it, and it'll go into here instead. And now once we pull that once more, we'll take the extra battery, and it'll go in. So now to keep it like so and charge some more batteries, we'll just do that, put the 2 extra into here, so the 2 will just find their way out. It won't go that way again, but it'll fill this one up eventually, and then that one will go into the buffer until this gets called out. Obviously, we can't call it out, so to speak, right now, since there is nowhere for it to go. So let's sleep up a bit, and then add a timer to the circuit, and hopefully that will finish things. Okay, I have my timer built, and hopefully we can get this working at a much better frequency. So getting this here, put that there, and this is not satisfied currently, but that is probably because we just need to hook up our redstone as it needs to be. So let's get our another stack, I guess. I put mine away, so we don't really need a red wire. So there we go, the battery's there, gets summoned, and now it's there. So the timer stopped, everything's good. So let's put 4 of these into the system, and it's satisfied, and all these batteries are just going to go, and it jammed up the retriever, which is not a good thing. So probably to prevent jamming of the retriever, we'll put something else, such as something. Yes, something. Okay, so I'll put a restriction tube right in front of the retriever so it doesn't actually go into it. That'll probably be best. And also, I'm going to make another retriever ahead of time, and then we can go out once we get all the supplies that will be required of us, and then modify our frame bore so that it can actually take advantage of what we have made thus far. Okay, so I managed to reach my tunnel bore machine. I had to catch up to it because it was, let's just say it was not capitulating. So here we are at our tunnel bore machine, and what we're going to need to do is remove the chunk loader temporarily, and we are going to need to get our white canvas bag of swift justice for everything because all of this stuff is starting to clog up our inventory. So how are we going to do this? These 2 battery boxes are going to need to disappear, so to speak. So let's put them in our canvas bag, these battery boxes, and this will need to have our frames where they are so that we can get everything. And of course, these gems of gemminess are going to keep going into our inventory. So let's see, we need the tube to go into here. It needs to go like this. Now, obviously, this is not the part that we want it to attach to. This is not the ender chest. So we'll have to put that there and expand the frames. I'm not too sure how far it's going to be, but I think this is okay. So let's see. We need to have a few things. We need something that will basically retrieve the items and put them in there. So that's going to require a constant redstone signal, and this might get messy, so if you value your eyes, you might need to turn away. So let's see. If we have the retriever here, we can put the tube here and here, and then have this covered up like so. There we go. And we'll have to put our retriever here, and it's going to need to retrieve whatever we have. Now the problem is this is on a separate not Bluetooth, or it's basically a separate energy connection, which is going to present a problem unless there was some way to bring. We need to expand this frame machine eventually. It does seem like it, but we don't have any block breakers currently in our location, so that could be a bit of a problem. So unless I could get Condrick to bring stuff over, our energy network is not exactly going to be happy at any other time. And as you can see, we are very, very... Oh my gosh, that is kind of disturbing, I must say. Must be a way to neuter them. Okay, So, with that little gobsmacking thing, we can probably put it so that, yeah, let's put that there. So having the retriever here instead will probably help a bit more. Oh, gosh. So we got our retriever. We'll put the retriever instead over here and turn its direction around, and then put it over here instead. Now the problem is it won't receive the redstone signal unless we put something like that, and having the redstone tube frames going like this instead, and it won't yeah, that should work. So if we put this here, the retriever should be set to a battery. It should retrieve our empty battery. So we'll need to put an empty battery in it for it to retrieve. Let's see. I'm gonna ignore him for the next few minutes because I can't concentrate. Okay, so retriever, it pulses. It should pulse every single time. Try to get the empty batteries. And we should have our ender chests, like, let's put our normal frames on. For now, we'll worry about the attachment at a later time. We need to have some sort of filter to get stuff. So, one moment. Okay, I enlisted Condrick to help me throw in one of my filters into the chest, but in the meantime, let's set this chest. Ooh. We got extra batteries because they're in the white one, because I forgot to color it, but we are missing our blue dye, which is going to be needed to get everything right with the world. Can you get away from me? Thank you. Let's try to find some lapis in the long tunnel back. And I had lapis already here. Shame on me. La 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 la. Hey! Okay, so this should connect to our energy system right here. As you can see, we got all of the Bluetooth batteries that we need. Not Bluetooth, shut up. So the problem is now that we need to get that connected to the appropriate area. And, ooh, did I put it in the right place? Let's assume that I did. We're going to need to put frames probably right here, or put a tube frame, and this will need to be connected. This isn't connected either, so they're going to need to be tube frames instead. And the problem is that this is going to need to be moved so that the tube frame can be put in. That's going to be a problem. Tube frames. Two frames, tube frames. Okay, so can I get this underneath? No, I cannot. No. 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 We're probably going to have to deal with that and remove it. Does Ender Chests require Silk Touch? Probably. And my grammar sucks. Okay, so got that. A filter is going to be there. And now, okay, so, but I don't have any extra blue dye that I'm willing to part with, so that's going to connect anyway, and this will go here. And I put the other one there, didn't I? Meh. So we will have the other frames that'll go there. This will be connected with the filter. The filter is going to need another frame right here. So if we frame, once we get the filter down, this should work, and we're going to need to cover it up. So let me cover it up, and once I get the care package, we can get everything set. And what I realized just now is that it's only charging that goes from the top, not the bottom. Oh my gosh, so that's a bit of a pickle. We're going to have to rework how this works a bit. So let's just remove everything and pretty much switch the positions. Just switching the positions should be all we need to do, but everything else should work as advertised. So if we just quickly switch the positions, it's not even going to be much of a change to how it works integrally. It should be good. So let's get rid of this stuff and then start rebuilding it, and we're almost out of time. In fact, I think we might be. So just putting everything back where it was before. If we wrench it into place, that will be good. We'll retrieve it from there. And we're going to need to also put it in there as well. So this will go here. And we'll have a little divider there. I didn't say there. There. Stop doing what I tell you to do. And we're going to need this to be a tube frame. Yeah, it will need to be a tube frame instead, so that that stays connected as well. Going to make sure the filter's like that, and this is going to need to be a redstone tube frame to keep with the tradition, so to speak. I'll just rewire it and hopefully everything goes well. And it's going to be pretty much exactly the opposite. I'll show you exactly what happens afterwards. Since it's 3 by 3, it shouldn't be too difficult. So Condrick decided to, instead of putting it in the ender chest, put the dang filter into the... Well, let's just say he went a little far. Okay, so thank you very much. And let's hopefully we finish this thing soon enough. I think I'm good. Just rewiring, and we got an ender chest, which... Oh, ender pouch. This should help in the future if I... Oh my god. I think that's too many. So let's see. We're going to need to hook this up so that we have the redstone tube frames going to the correct position. And now that we have our nice little filter thing, we can put our filter down. And... yeah, of course it is. Okay, so let's see. Turn this around so that it's like that. And with this, here it should connect easily. Now the problem is that it's going to receive some of the items as well, but no, it shouldn't receive any of the items. Then again, it might go into here, which would be a bit of a problem. So unless there was a way to go like that, yeah. But then it wouldn't be able to put the items into here, wouldn't it be? Huh. Let's see. Okay, so going to need to get this filter into a bit of a different area. Probably going to have it here. And let's get this so that it's on the ground and we collect it. Trying my own. Okay, so filter. If we have the ender chest right here, we might be able to have this a bit better. So ender chest there, filter there. That should get everything. Filter goes like that. It shouldn't go into here. If we have a restriction tube, we might have an iron ingot here. No. Restriction tube. Restriction tube is probably the best method. Wait a second. Do we have any... that's a problem. Okay, let me just smelt some iron. Don't hate on me because I'm not prepared. I am resourceful. Haha! Okay, so now that we got our restriction tube all ready to go, we'll be able to put it on. It shouldn't go at all into here. Not that I know of, at least. So that should go in here. That is not connected to a frame, though, so it's going to need to be patented tube frame. So that means that this is going to need to disappear as well, unless we can place it. Nope, we cannot. We're going to need to get that out of the way. Put it, Get that, and going to need to put a panel so that it doesn't connect. So this should connect, and it has battery power. It doesn't have any redstone, which means that it won't actually pulse. So unless there was a redstone restriction tube, it ain't gonna work. Let's see. We can pull the items there, but it can't get pulled out. Okay, the items get pulled out there. That's fine. The items get pulled there. That's fine. So instead of here, it might need to be something else. Like this, if that was the case. We can put the redstone restriction tube thing here. Hey, I need that. Thanks. Okay, we got that there. Now it's going to just need a redstone jolt, probably from one of these instead. Now that's connected. It has redstone. Yes, I do. Let's see. We got some of that. No, we have lighter. There we go. Okay, this should get the redstone. That should be good. Everything's connected as it should. This is connected, that's connected. Supposedly, if we go forward, it should go forward. So let's try that. Good. And the only thing is that this wasn't connected, which is a bit of a pain in the ass. So almost done. And we're just going to need to get this right there and have a frame connected like so, or tube frame actually. Does that work? Does that even work? Yeah. Okay, so got that, and this should work. This should have bluetricity. Now it should, oh fudge. Hey, out of my way, contract. Oh, that's why it kind of slid back, which is not a good thing to happen, you know? Yes, they are, so, wrong location, so that slid, that's a problem. That means we need to get this back on, and this, oops, oh no, this might be a bit long of an episode because of derp. My derp is derping with derpendum. There we go. Now that we got that, we can put this back on. We're going to need to put it into place. Up. There we go. Now we got that, and that should be connected. Though to make sure, we will need to put these here. So that's connected to the main structure. This isn't connected to the main structure, so this supposedly should work now. Let's see. There we go. We got items. It supposedly works. None of the items are gone. This filter, though, is caught because it's set to not really do anything, but we need to pull full batteries from here. Oh, what? Oh, gosh. I guess I cannot win today, can I? There we go. So it should only pull out the good batteries, though it should only pull when it can. So this retriever, who's not even there, one moment. Okay, so Kondrik and I looked over it, and after he actually gave me my dang retriever back, it's now in system, so when we pull it down, like so, it should continue and get batteries from the system once it needs them. So I think it seems good. Yeah, and I think that is going to be something that I'll need to do. Thanks, Kondrik. Well, that's all the time we have for this episode of Dragon's Durance. If you like what you see, don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe to future episodes. WayofTime here, signing off. Have a wonderful day.